Hi, today we're going to Whale Cove Beach. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm trying to visit all the beaches on Cape Breton Island one by one and create beach tours like this one. All my videos are organized pretty much the same way. Part 1 is the beach tour, Part 2 is some interesting information I learned while researching the beach, and Part 3 is called Channel Talk, where I give status updates. So hang around till the end. Okay, let's get started. Whale Cove Beach is located on the west coast of Cape Breton Island, just a few kilometers south of the village of Margaree Harbour, on Shore Road, also known as the 219. There's limited parking on the side of the road. Alright, how to get there. From the Big Fiddle in Sydney, it's an hour and 53-minute drive. You know you've arrived when you see the sign for the Whale Cove Beach Resort. There's limited parking up on the road, so this place is never really crowded. Here's the view from the cliff top. This path leads to the beach stairs. There are no restrooms or change rooms here, and I should let you know that across the street at the Whale Cove Beach Resort, there is a sign on the office door saying that they don't let the public use their washrooms, but they do have a snack bar that you're welcome to. Here's the view looking up. You can see it's fairly steep. The path is just wide enough to allow a single vehicle. Most people just park up top and lug their stuff down to the bottom, but you do have the option of driving down and unloading at the drop-off spot and then going back up and parking there. There are 2 accessible parking spots. On your left, there is an accessible path down to the beach, and on your right are the stairs. Dogs have to be on leash. There's no lifeguard here, but there is a life buoy. There's really nice sand here. I'll tell you later what this anchor is for. Here's the water. Some days it's wavy, some days it's calm. You never know what you're going to get. Not too long ago, I had a subscriber ask me to give information about the water level when I visited. So this was August 16th at 1:30. And I looked up the tide info. Here it is. Out in the distance is a floating dock. That's what the anchor is for. No one was out there today. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you've been here before, or if not, would you come? Okay, I want to show you 2 more places. First, across the street is the Whale Cove Beach Resort, previously known as the Whale Cove Summer Village. They have renovated ocean view cabins. I've never stayed there myself, but my friend Harvey has taken his family there several summers in a row, and he says it's a great spot for families. All right, the second place I want to show you is McKay's Cape. Take the road to the cemetery. I'm not going here for the cemetery though. There's a wide open field with beautiful views. People come here for a quiet walk. It's very peaceful. The person who mows this place does a great job. I don't dare go. I don't dare go that far. There's Janet. You get a nice view of the beach over here. Is that Chimney Corner? I really like this view, the road in the foreground followed by those cliffs and then the capes in the background. I didn't fly my drone on this trip, but luckily if you go on Facebook and search for Whale Cove Beach, you'll find a bunch of public videos and photos. I'll show you a few. I love those rocks and the tilt of the land. If you do come here, don't go too close to the edge. You can't tell how stable the ground is under you. I found this old photo online showing this used to be a pasture with cows. Isn't that neat? Here's an older video showing sea kayakers and the show that they were treated to. This is a stunning photograph. I love it. Here you can see the floating dock secured by 4 ropes. 2 of the ropes are anchored on the beach and 2 of the ropes are anchored in the water. This person did a cool thing with their drone. It's a different perspective. Alright, don't go anywhere. This video is not over because this is the part of the video where I tell you some interesting information I dug up while researching this beach. Before I jump into it, I want to say a huge thank you to Daniel at Sydney Adventure Tours for sponsoring this video. Go check out his website to discover the great tours he offers. Thanks again to Daniel at Sydney Adventure Tours. I'm going to talk to you about Sea Wolf Island, the subject of many beautiful photos. There are so many talented people around here. The island is 4 kilometers offshore. The name Sea Wolf Island goes way, way back. This map from the 1700s shows the French called it Île aux Loups Marins. Loup marin is a very old French term for seal. Now they're more commonly called les fauves, which sounds very much like the English F word. Loup translates to wolves and marin translates to sea. The British called it Sea Wolves Island, and then eventually it became Sea Wolf Island. Some maps do show Seal Island, but not too many. Don't you think Sea Wolf Island sounds way cooler than Seal Island? I think so. It's also known as Margaree Island. The lighthouse station on the island was established in 1854. It had a square tower with an attached dwelling. The first lighthouse keeper served for 20 years. During that time, Keeper McKean made several improvements. He built a road from the landing to the lighthouse, erected 3 buildings of his own, and cultivated 30 acres, from which he was able to harvest enough hay and grain to winter 7 heads of cattle, 2 horses, and 100 sheep. The keeper was not alone. During the fishing season, fishermen inhabited shanties on the island to be closer to the fishing grounds. I'll leave a link below in the video description, which will take you to a detailed history of the island. I can't cover everything here. In 1908, a new octagonal wooden lighthouse and detached dwelling was built. Here's what the island looked like in the 1930s. Here's some photos from the 1950s. In 1959, the present lighthouse was built with a concrete tower. Here's what the land looked like in 1969. You can see the white spruce forest starting. In 1971, the light was automated and there no longer was a need for a keeper. In 1982, the Sea Wolf National Wilderness Area was established. Here's what things look like today. Today the lighthouse looks like this. Few people see the western side of this little island. Do you see what's in the water? Those are all seals. On Facebook, I came across this Zodiac excursion page, and it shows this photo by Elizabeth Zamborn. She's a Canadian marine mammal scientist, lead researcher for the Cape Breton Pilot Whale Project, and a PhD candidate. That's a lot of seals. So what preys on seals? Sharks. Here's one caught on video off the coast of Cape Breton Island.
Good evening. There is shock and horror in a picturesque part of western Cape Breton tonight. This after a 21-year-old woman was airlifted to hospital following an apparent shark attack. RCMP say she suffered serious injuries. While not entirely unheard of, this kind of thing is remarkably rare around here. CTV's Ryan McDonald is our top story.
It was just off Margaree Island along the west coast of Cape Breton, where for a 21-year-old woman, a dream summer day on the water yesterday turned into a nightmare.
This is terrifying. This is traumatic.
Fred Wariski heads up the Ocean Tracking Network at Dalhousie University. He says for something like this to happen in Canadian waters is even more rare than you might think.
If you go to the International Shark Attack File, there isn't even a register for Canada on it for unprovoked shark attacks or provoked shark attacks, either one of those particular things. So in our place, extraordinarily rare and non-existent for at least 100 years.
It was swimming in the water off the boat.
Sergeant Andrew Joyce of the RCMP says it happened just before 5 p.m. He explains a 911 call was made from the boat, which he says had at least 6 people on it.
Persons was transported to shore by the boat that she was on.
Joyce says once on shore, she received help from EHS and a local fire department. She was then taken to hospital locally before being airlifted to Halifax.
It is a place where other wildlife is congregating, notably seals.
Nobody knows for sure yet what kind of shark may have been involved, but Wariski says most probably it was a white shark, an endangered species whose populations, he says, are beginning to rebound. So if this is as rare as Wariski says, how could it have happened? He says it's possible a shark could have mistaken a person in the water for food.
We have a lot of young animals that seem to be coming up into our waters now, which means that they're just learning how to survive. What is food? What do I attack? How do I do this?
And he adds there's something about where this happened that makes sense given recent data.
We do seem to be getting a lot of sightings and detections of the animals in offshore areas around islands.
The Mounties weren't able to provide an update on the young woman's condition today, explaining that it's not RCMP policy.
The seriousness of her injuries would not be commented by our organization.
RCMP would confirm, though, that the woman is from the local area. With ideal swimming weather now here, Wariski says others wondering how they can stay safe will be best off avoiding getting into the water along offshore islands like this.
getting into these kind of areas, anchoring your boat and going for a swim is kind of like going into the prime hunting grounds that sharks would be hanging out in.
For now, it's a shocking incident that might never repeat itself around here in our lifetimes, but it has people thinking twice about what lies beneath our waters here on the East Coast. And Bruce, we heard Fred Wariski from Dalhousie University say that an incident like this isn't known to have happened off our waters in more than 100 years. One of our colleagues in the CTV Halifax newsroom actually went a step further and did some research online and brought up a newspaper clipping from 1891 detailing an incident in which a sailor off Nova Scotia was attacked by a shark. Of course, what happened here yesterday was scaring. It's shocking to people around here. But as the experts have reminded us, it is exceedingly rare, Bruce.
Sure is. All right. Thanks, Ryan. CTV's Ryan McDonald in Chimney Corner, Nova Scotia tonight.
The shark bite does appear on the Canadian Shark Attack Registry as case number 25. All the details are recorded there. All right, time for channel talk. Guess what? I got a P.O. box. So if you feel like sending me a postcard or a letter, you can address it to Cape Breton Beach Life, P.O. Box 20010, Sydney, Nova Scotia, B1P5K0, Canada. You can also reach out by email. We are up to 2,201 subscribers. Thank you so much to all of you. Over the last 3 years, we have visited 71 beaches. If you feel like it, share this video with someone you think will appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye for now.